What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is AEW Smart Mark, and our main event on tonight's all-out pay-per-view is going to be the Fatal 4-Way Elimination match for Brian Cage's AEW World Heavyweight Championship. And the first man coming down to the ring is none other than the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer. His path into this match went straight through former champion Jon Moxley. So he definitely paid his dues to earn his way into this world title match, and at an absolute beast of a man, he could easily walk out of here as our next AEW World Heavyweight Champion. The next man coming out here is Kenny Omega. He earned his way into this match by beating Darby Allin in a match that honestly Darby Allin could have possibly won if it wasn't for interference by Eddie Kingston, but Eddie Kingston stuck his nose where it didn't belong, and Kenny Omega was the lucky beneficiary. Obviously, though, he's Kenny Omega, so he still deserves to be in a world title match no matter what. And our next competitor, this man's road here was straight through the Jurassic Express in a tag team match with MJF, and then just last week on Dynamite refusing to give this opportunity to MJF, keeping it for himself and turning on MJF, and really kind of whooping the heck out of him. And it'd be interesting to see how he will fare in tonight's world title match. Wardlow. And finally, there we have it, our champion, the Machine, Brian Cage. He is an absolute beast, and he is our current AEW World Heavyweight Champion. He has done a fantastic job as champion, and in singles competition, Cage completely undefeated. But this is not singles competition. This is something entirely different. That does not stop the AEW World Heavyweight title from being on the line, though. It still is on the line, and therefore Cage still has to fight his heart out and defend it to ensure that he is the one who walks out of here with the championship. The champion, Brian Cage, requesting this match to be a knockout match. The only way you can be eliminated is to get knocked unconscious. And right out of the gate here, you see Wardlow tying up with Lance Archer. You see Kenny Omega going right after current champion Brian Cage. And outside the ring, we got Cage and Omega continuing to battle. Inside the ring, it's the Battle of the Behemoths with Wardlow and Lance Archer. Kenny in this match with three people who are much larger than him, but he's no stranger to that, and I'm sure he can hold his own. And right there, he holds his own by taking the world champion's head directly into the steel stairs. And Cage almost looks like that could have really hurt him. You see Cage not too hurt to inflict punishment right back, and just a series of incredible knee strikes by Brian Cage. Meanwhile, in the ring, Lance Archer using the ropes to his advantage, and now just pummeling down strikes, raining down onto the head of Wardlow, and doing it one more time as Omega takes down Brian Cage outside of the ring again. And Omega's got him. Oh, DDT! Again, right to the top of the cranium of Brian Cage, who already really looked dazed and confused when he initially hit those stairs outside of the ring. And in the ring, Lance Archer raking at the eyes of Wardlow, and Wardlow with the go-behind. And now Lance Archer gets a neck breaker delivered to him by Wardlow outside of the ring. Brian Cage working on the neck, cranking away at Kenny Omega inside the ring. Wardlow and Lance Archer exchange punches, strikes, and kicks. Inside the ring, Lance Archer taking Wardlow up over the top rope, and now Lance Archer going to follow him out there. No, thinks better of it, changes his mind, Going to take a quick breather in the ring. Meanwhile, Omega takes down Cage with a clothesline. And Archer gets some time to taunt and rest up. Omega sends Brian Cage back closer to ringside. And they both try to converge on Lance Archer at the same time. Wardlow and Kenny Omega almost as a unified front here saying, hey, let's stop this Archer guy. And Kenny maybe hurt his back trying to lift the large Lance Archer. And exchanging strikes in the ring. Brian Cage and Wardlow now exchanging strikes outside of the ring. And look at this. Kenny Omega has Lance Archer up. The Murder Hawk Monster gets dropped at the one-winged angel. And that's a 1, a 2, but not a 3 count. He kicks out of Kenny Omega's one-winged angel. That's right, it's not protected here in the multiverse. It gets kicked out of occasionally, and you saw it happen right there. I, for one, am confused because I thought this match was knockout only, but I suppose it is pin, submission, or knockout. And I stand corrected. Archer taking Wardlow off his feet with the big boot. Omega and Cage both finally starting to just barely stir on the outside. And Archer seeing if he can get Wardlow to tap while he had the ring to himself. This is an elimination matchup, so you shouldn't see superstars trying to break up pins from each other. And Cage hits that excellent move to Omega and then starts to taunt. Lance Archer, Irish whip sends Cage up and over and out of the ring. And fall away slam by Lance Archer. And again, he's in control in the ring by himself with others outside of it. But the champion Cage, the Machine, the first to slide back in. And look at that knee strike to the head by Kenny Omega. Now Brian Cage with a flurry of knees and strikes and spins. And Wardlow finally back up in the ring. Wardlow behind Lance Archer. Wardlow goes for a ride, as does Kenny Omega outside of the ring. A much bigger, scarier ride outside the ring. High above Cage's head was Kenny. In the ring, we still got Wardlow and Archer exchanging blows. And big splash by Lance Archer outside the ring. Kenny Omega and Brian Cage mixing it up. And look at that heel kick to Brian Cage. And Lance Archer again. Looks like maybe he's going to take a moment. Take a walk, not go for more attacks, and then pulls Wardlow down from behind. And Wardlow quick to reverse it. Look in the ring there. Kenny Omega just dropped the Machine Brian Cage right on his head. And now Omega stomping Cage's face into the mat as well. And he's got a submission hold hooked here as Wardlow and Lance Archer exchange strikes in the ring. Omega forced to let go. Outside the ring. Wardlow and Lance Archer. Inside the ring, we've got Brian Cage and Kenny Omega. And Kenny Omega is hooked for what might be a power bomb. And it looked like, meanwhile, outside the ring, Wardlow just busted Lance Archer open. I'm sorry, one guy, just too much action here to call. I need somebody else here on commentary with me. Kenny Omega, after that knee strike to the midsection, is taking a moment to appreciate the good job he has done. And he's going back now to this Indian Deathlock submission. And Brian Cage fights his way out of it again, almost pinning Omega. But Omega pushing him off. And Omega with a kick to the midsection. Cage backed up in the corner. Omega tosses him out. Wardlow and Archer back in the ring now. And Omega off the top rope with that diving foot stomp. Wardlow, single leg takedown, and then drops the legs across knee breaker style. And look at Kenny Omega. Oh! With that running knee to the side of the head. And honestly, the way Cage hit the ground, the way his arm just shot, if he didn't have a concussion after that steel chair shot, he might have one now. Omega just bloodied Wardlow. And I think the doctors are telling Brian Cage right now he can no longer compete in this match. Cage refusing to even leave the ring. Cage doing concussion protocol in the ring right now, with the athletes falling all around him as Wardlow delivers that DDT to Kenny Omega. And doctors still investigating Brian Cage. We're not sure if he will be able to come back into this match or not. Meanwhile, Wardlow going for the pin on Omega. And Lance Archer broke the pin up. And now Lance Archer with a claw. He's got it locked on to Wardlow's head. Wardlow going to submit here. Wardlow, referee right there in great position. Wardlow does not submit to my knowledge, but Kenny goes for the pin. 1, 2, just a 2 count. Doctor's still investigating Brian Cage, and Lance Archer, meanwhile, about to take Kenny Omega for a ride. Oh my gosh. And that could finish Kenny Omega right there. Lance Archer going for the pin. 1, 2, only a 2 count. This has been incredible action here. Kenny Omega, the only one not bloodied and still fighting, as Brian Cage is being checked out by doctors. And we've got Omega sending Wardlow into the ropes. Lance Archer taking a rest outside of the ring. Kenny with a kick to the inside of the leg of Wardlow, and then he sends Wardlow into the turnbuckle. This match at this point been going on for over 10 minutes of really hard-hitting action, and that hard clothesline takes Kenny Omega down off of his feet, and now the Best Bout Machine locked into some sort of submission hold being delivered by Wardlow, but Wardlow got rolled back in a pinfall. You could see here the game's just glitching out, guys. I can't get Cage back into this match. He was never pinned. He was never submitted. I don't know what happened, but I'm going with this doctor's storyline. And we're saying that doctors are no longer letting him compete in this match. And Cage telling the doctors he's refusing to leave the ring. They can't make him leave because he's a machine. Meanwhile, Kenny Omega delivering a knee to the head of Wardlow. And that knee knocking Wardlow out. And we're down to just 2 active competitors, Archer and Omega. Full Nelson slam drops Kenny Omega to the ground. And now Archer taking a moment to collect himself. Kick to the midsection. And what's he going to do here? Powerbomb, last call, and that is it. Omega is knocked out, and Lance Archer is the only one left standing tall in the ring. He is our new AEW World Heavyweight Champion here in the Multiverse, and his theme music sure don't lie, does it? Everybody dies. Brian Cage, not victorious tonight, but also not eliminated. So a little bit of controversy to wrap up this all-out pay-per-view. And you gotta wonder, will Cage heal up and try to get his belt back from Archer? Will Matt Cardona challenge for it? Will Cardona choose to challenge for one of the other titles here in AEW? What will the FTW division look like with Laredo Kid as our new champion? There are just more questions than answers after tonight's pay-per-view. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. Stay tuned to the channel. Subscribe. Check out the links in the description. Thanks for watching. Until next time, peace!